Felicidades, Giannis, on your first NBA championship. And I also want to give a shout out to PJ Tucker, Sneaker King. Oye, felicidades también, campeón. But Giannis, I will say, God bless America. Let's go. I want to be able to start off to be able to read you the lyrics of a song that a year ago got me through a couple storms, but one specifically. And the lyrics are, "You're the God of covenant and faithful promises, time and time again. You have proven you'll do just what you said. And though the storms may come and the winds may blow, I'll remain steadfast, and let your heart learn that when you speak a word, it would come to pass. Great is your faithfulness to me." I repeat, great is your faithfulness to me. I want to give a special shout out, and I know I put them in, so if you see this, I really appreciate you. Maverick City Music, this was from their Volume 3, and this still rings true today. So I want to welcome you guys to another episode for Fuel Pasión Fridays. And it's always exciting because this is just a visual concept of the podcast that I do on a weekly basis. As always, around cultura, faith y conexiones. Of course, my name is Noan El Boricua. Welcome, bienvenidos, cada uno de ustedes. I don't want to make this feel like a somber moment, but I actually want to be able to reflect. Look, it was a year ago to the date of July 21st that I woke up in pain, where I could not breathe. It was something that was unreal. Now, let me backtrack. The date is actually 4th of July weekend of 2020. My family, this was the height of the pandemic, and our family, we were doing our best to make sure that everybody was safe. Nobody was, being exposed to anything that was out there, specifically COVID. And for sure, it was that weekend of 4th of July. And I remember that we had family that came to visit, but prior to them coming, I remember that in celebrating after our son, we decided to go to the local market here where I live. And then I remember going to the local Target where we live. It was a 1-2 locations where my wife and I went out, and sure enough, in less than 24 hours, I came down with a fever of 103, and it was consistent for about a day and a half. And it was in that moment where prior to that, I remember, let me backtrack. So when I hit that, I remember I just thought, do I have the flu? What is it? I can breathe fine. My throat doesn't hurt. I don't know what it is. And I remember that I thought it was maybe sinuses. I remember I had this head cold kind of a thing. It's something that I've noticed as I've gotten older, that sinuses is a thing in my life. And I'm really grateful for my wife because she was, we had called the doctor. They gave me medicine for what I thought was sinus. Gave me medication just for just making sure that I was good. Everything was getting cleared out. Then a few weeks later, July 21st, I remember waking up and I could not breathe. Every little breath, just think about the smallest breath that you can take, was that if I was getting stabbed by a knife in my right upper lung. I tried to relax. I thought maybe it was just, I don't know, maybe I had, if you're a Latino, Latina, you know what I'm talking about. Like your parents, abuelitos will say, "Oh, tienes aire," you have air. I don't know if that's a thing for other cultures, but for, as far as when it comes to a Latina mom, they always tend to say, "Tienes aire." So I thought I had aire, right? I thought I had air. I just understood that this was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I waited until my wife was awake at 7, and I had asked her if she could please take me to the hospital. I got admitted, and sure enough, I ended up finding out that I have pneumonia. They thought I had COVID. I had no fever by then. Mind you, my fever was July 8th. You go to July 21st, no fever. But the doctor, and again, I know I said this in a video months ago. I want to say thank you to Torrance Memorial Hospital because really, although I know I didn't have a fever, I just want to share with you guys, one of the first things that I realized was that this pandemic is real. And as much as I know that, and I wasn't one of the naysayers, I just knew that even wearing my mask, that particles in the air, something, I do touch my face a lot. And that was something that I think I did. I was at the market. I know clearly I must have gotten it at the market. There was no other exposure that I had to any other people. When I had gotten the CT scan, that's when they found out that I had pneumonia. The doctor had told me, hey, you might want to, get tested for COVID. Now, mind you, I was like, well, I got tested a while ago. He goes, yeah, but I am more than 99% sure that you got COVID. He goes, you're 40. Yeah, I was 43. He's like, you're 43 and you should be on a ventilator. He goes, but your lungs are so strong. He goes, you need to count your blessings. So that's why I opened up with the lyrics of Maverick City, because I count my blessings. And I'm gonna pause. So one, knowing that this pandemic and this virus is real, I realized in that moment that I needed to get tested. Sure enough, less than 24 hours later, I was tested with COVID. I was positive. Immediately, my whole family got tested. I got quarantined right away. I had to wear a mask. And I remember that I wanted to post this photo here. And I wanted to post it here on Instagram. But I felt that, it wasn't the right time to do it. I did post a video on Facebook to let my direct family know. And I want to say thank you to all those that reached out in the moment that I had made that public. I appreciate all of, UIWI family, my church family, my Nike family, every circle that I have. I want to say thank you for reaching out, because that means a lot, which is the second thing that I realized that I've learned in this past year. Community is important. I say this time and time again, and many of my peers that have been blessed to know Dr. Larry Acosta, that we suffer in isolation, but we heal in community. And can I get a like for that? We heal in community. And I realized that it was in the community of friends and family that it got me through some of the darkest moments that I went through mentally. Look, from July 8th through July 21st, I went through the ringer. I mean, I just couldn't sleep. Every time I did that test to see if I did have COVID or not, I always passed it because I was able to breathe. And I remember I fainted because I was so weak at one point. There was some crazy things. It was just, I lost my appetite. I kid you not, I did lose my taste, sense of taste for one day. The weirdest thing, I had a granola bar because I just didn't have an appetite. It was like if I was eating cardboard and I threw it away. Sorry, honey, I threw it away. It was crazy, having to quarantine myself in the little corner of the living room. Number 3, I'm grateful for my immediate family. First and foremost, my wife, because I'm going to pause again. We jokingly one day in the very beginning stages of this whole pandemic, we made a little joke about a cough. And I made a comment like, hey, don't play around. What if one of us get it? And, fast forward, when I was the one that had it, it's hard making a video when you're trying to reflect on something. Yo, if you're still watching this, thank you. I just remember that she did everything. And I really appreciate that. I remember my oldest son being so far away. He felt like he needed to be there. But my wife was like, no, son, you're a frontline worker. My son still works at a grocery market in Oregon. And he was working every day. And, I just remember the whole thing. And, my wife was tested positive, but she had no symptoms related to mine. It was crazy because our youngest son, he didn't test because my youngest son and my wife were sleeping in the same room while I was in the other room. And my son didn't get it. I'm grateful that my mother-in-law didn't get it, nor my father-in-law. So I was grateful for that, But I think for me, again, number 3, I'm grateful for my immediate family, right? So COVID was real, community is everything, and family is the key. And the last thing I want to leave with you guys, because I didn't really plan this out. I just knew, I did plan it out. I have my notes right here, but emotions are kind of high and low here. Number 4, I realized that you can make it. I'm here as a living testimony that I've made it. And I also know that I have friends and family that didn't make it. But I want to speak to those that have maybe had gotten COVID. Maybe you didn't have what I had. I made it. But there's an asterisk. I did have survivor's remorse. I felt bad. I remember waiting in the hospital the 21st of July of 2020, and I was talking to God. I'm like, yo, God, why me? Like, why am I making it? There was nights when I was sleeping by myself in a room with the humidifier, and I, shout out to Kristen Wright. I would play, just meditation. I would play some music. That's how I found Maverick City Music. And I would have these conversations of saying, like, okay, there's a purpose of why I survived. I need to remember what the why is, or start the journey to understand what God has in store for me to be able to share with everybody else. So the recovery was a long process. Let me play you a little video of my first time trying to get out and make sport a daily habit after technically 8 weeks post pneumonia. And here's the beauty of it. I survived COVID, but it was pneumonia that we needed to recover for 8 weeks. Here's the video. All right, guys, halfway done here. Shout out to Ludinger in the background. It's hard. I'm already tired. Super rare, but it's part of the process of getting back on track. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this run out. Now, as you can see clearly, I was, it was really tough, and but we keep going forward. That's why I celebrated the Run 100 earlier this year, because I had to prove to myself that I was able to get out there to be able to recover and make sure that I'm aligned in eating. And my wife knows that I still need to get a physical for my yearly checkup. I've clearly procrastinated. So sure enough, if we're watching this video, I should have already booked that appointment. So, but all that to say that what's crazy is that in the month of July, or fast forward a couple months later of 2020, we opened our community store, Watts. It was great, but that was my first time in almost 16 weeks that I saw more than 4 people in one shot. Everybody had a mask on, everybody was socially distanced. Can I tell you guys though, that's when I knew that I needed a healthy approach to my mental health, because I ended up having an anxiety breakdown. I ended up running to my car. I had to excuse myself from my colleagues, and I broke down crying. Then I got myself together. I called my boss and I said, hey, I'm gonna go back home now. I don't feel too comfortable. Mia, you may not know that, but that was the reason why I did leave the opening of Watts, because I broke down and I realized, like, yo, I'm recovering, I'm feeling okay, but now I need to address mental health. So I close with this. I'm not here to tell you guys about conspiracy theories, nothing of that nature. I just wanna say, look, science and health, there's a reason why God put that here. And I want to say thank you for those that are looking to be in the medical field. I want to say thank you to those that are in the medical field in any capacity. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to our governments to try the best that they can. That's all I'm going to say. Keyword, trying the best in navigating this. And I want to say thank you to all of you. Look, I'm going to leave it up to you. Do your homework thoroughly. Don't just read it and hear it and watch it on mass media, but do your homework thoroughly. And my prayer is that you will consider to just get vaccinated. And if you don't, that's fine. I just ask you, look into it. I did. I had 4 different opinions. I had to research because I have some certain allergic reactions to certain things, and I did my homework, and I'm grateful for my oldest son because he kind of broke it down to us a little bit better. So consider it. That's all I got for you guys. Sorry for the long video, but I had to do a lot of breaks because I just had to, recover. So thank you guys so much. As always, I hope you guys can listen to our storytellers. We have the newest episode that just dropped, more to come this season. And also check us out, pasiónpodcast.com. I hope you guys consider to just partner to be a Patreon, in the familia, to be able to just do some things that I have in mind, but we do need your partnership. So thank you guys so much. Dios te bendiga.